Mark, we're talking off the back of today's short sponsorship announcement that Stuart Intersea have taken that privilege. What can you say about that deal that's gone ahead today?
I'm obviously delighted. Delighted in terms of the timing. It's a crucial period for the club, making sure that we can give as much support to Marcus and the squad as we possibly can. And it's also, I'm delighted in terms of the statement that it makes, that business still continues on the commercial side, even though we're in the season, as it were. And Ben Hughes, who obviously is the main director of Stuart Intersea, has been a fantastic supporter of this club for a significant period of time, was involved in the board previously. And he's been supporting the club every single season with sponsorships of individual games and of the team sheet and programme adverts. And he and his family have widely supported the club, which was great. And for him to upgrade his sponsorship at this point and commit for the rest of the season and hopefully, who knows, beyond, to the short sponsorship is just a really good sign of things being in the right place commercially and of their commitment. And as I've said with a number of these sponsorships now, it's, from my point of view, it's about making sure that we deliver full value and make it worth their while so that the relationship continues to grow over the coming years. So very grateful for the involvement, very grateful to Ben and his family, and look forward to working with him over the coming months.
Off the field, there's that more commercial success for you in this football club, but on the field, of course, on Tuesday, much better and a fantastic 3 points for Chester, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was an incredible night, and so how it was 2-2 at half time, I've no idea. But if you have to go through that at the end of the first half, then what a way to win a game of football, to do it in the very dying seconds and with the quality that we showed in those last 5 minutes as well. So it was absolutely brilliant. It was a huge relief. The feeling around the place was incredible. The atmosphere created by the fans was different class. And I thought that was one of the most important things for me about Tuesday night, was the fact that even when we'd been 2-0 up and coasting and conceded those 2 late goals, the fans in the stadium did their bit by getting behind the players throughout the second half, not moaning and groaning at them, and created an atmosphere which allowed the players to perform. And were stunning, really. I mean, the fans were absolutely stunning, and so to get the rewards with that late goal and the celebrations will live long in the memory. So a brilliant night for everybody. A real boost, the fact that we've helped freshen the team up with some incoming players over the last few days, and they had an immediate impact. So hopefully shows where we need to be going and how hard we need to be working. And the immediate rewards were fantastic. We've got to carry it on.
Yeah, and as you said, it was a fantastic night, and almost after such a challenging few months, how has it been here at the football club?
I guess one of the biggest frustrations is that as the football club, you can't react to every twist and turn of emotion that's out there, or every individual press report. So when you read things like rock bottom, and when you read things after the Boreham Wood game like woeful first half, and it's very tempting to come out and sort of put the alternative view, but you're just seen as being reactive. I think what we have to be is balanced about things, and so we have to be balanced in terms of our reaction to dreadful days like Kidderminster and disappointment against Boreham Wood, whilst there were good aspects to that performance. But the absolute key is that we knew what needed to be done, we continue to know what needs to be done, and that we act upon it. So the easy bit is to say that's dreadful. And so quite rightly, for example, the fans came out after the Kidderminster game and expressed very strong feelings about what they thought of the performance. And they were absolutely right and in their right to express their feelings vehemently after the game. And it hurts to hear it, but it's correct that they should do so. Similarly, it's fine and it's good for the press to be able to come out and say that's rock bottom. But that, with due respect, is the easy bit. So saying it's rubbish is the easy bit. What are we going to do about it? And so Marcus and I, the board, everybody involved behind the scenes at the club, immediately sit down after that and say, right, what do we need to do? What are the bits that we need to do? And going into the Boreham Wood game, we were completely aware of the improvements and the changes we need to make in the squad. And by that stage, clearly we were working very hard on those. And so in some ways, the Boreham Wood result was just kind of proof of the pudding in terms of that and those improvements that are required. So we then go into the next week, we make the changes, and clearly we can sit here pleased with ourselves because they've had an immediate impact. But equally, it's about not getting carried away that we've won a football game. It's about on to the next one. How do we build? What do we need to do next? How do we do all the various things which will support the squad and the team to go forward? And I think the most important message I want to get across is that there is a responsibility of everybody here. So let's be brutally honest about the situation here. The club could decide if it wanted to say, well, let's forget it, it's too tough to stay in this division, let's get ourselves relegated, let's have a budget which doesn't compete at this level and live a relatively comfortable life in Conference North. That's an option, that is an option, but it's not an option that I want to pursue, and I don't think it's an option that anybody at the club wants to pursue. So I think we need to accept collectively that we're deliberately making our lives tougher by trying to compete, and in doing so then everybody's got their bits of responsibility. So me as chief executive, until the manager's got the resources which make us really competitive and have a budget which allows us to seriously contemplate the playoffs, and until the manager can go to every away game and stay in a hotel without even thinking about it, until the manager's got all of the facilities and the resources that he wants, then until that point, then I as chief executive am failing, and I've got to take that responsibility, and I feel that responsibility really strongly. And I'll give everything I've got to make sure that I continue to deliver and improve deals so that we give him more resources and improve over a period of time, but that's a responsibility I've got to take. Similarly, the board have got to do their bit. So what are they doing about fundraising, about growing membership, about bringing funds into the club? And I know they're aware of that, and they're working really hard to do it at the moment. And so over the next months, hopefully we'll see some significant progress in that respect, and they're pulling together to try and see where they can take it and grow membership. Growing membership is massively important to this football club. So how do we do that, and how do we get that message and that engagement across? Various ideas that are being discussed at the moment, which hopefully will be seen in the coming weeks. I think in terms of the players, we've sat down as a group and we've talked and we've told them that they've got to do their bit. So they're going full time. As an example, they've got to put the extra in order that we can compete at the level within the resources that we've got. And the manager's got to do his bit by recruitment and education of the players and developing players. And I'll be straight and say the fans and the owners and the group, the members have got to do their bit, which they did on Tuesday night, by not only getting behind the team, by not only sticking behind the team when things get tough, but perhaps by encouraging other people to come down as well, because people coming through that gate is one of the 2 or 3 single most important things which will happen in terms of affecting the club's finances. So we need everybody to be ambassadors for the club and get the message out there and get people through the gate. And if we're pulling together, and if the fans are doing their bit, if the players are doing their bit, if I'm doing my bit, the manager and the board, then we've got a hell of a chance of achieving something very special here. But what the message is that it's not easy and never going to be easy. And I don't think that the majority of Chester fans follow this club because it's an easy choice, because there are plenty of easier choices out there. But there's a certain quality about them which they showed on Tuesday night, where they can get behind this team. They can make the difference for the players on the pitch, create that environment, and then we have to undertake, and we'll promise to do everything that we can behind the scenes to make sure that we give the best chance possible initially of staying in this division. But then, you know what, having a really good crack at going much higher in the division for the next season. And so that's what we want to do, and that's the only reason we're here. So yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting few weeks and a frustrating few weeks in many ways, but I'm convinced that we're all pulling in the right direction, and just encourage everybody to pull with us.